Hello, friend. A dedicated trust in mortal men is inimical to a divinely programmed life. It deprives us of divine assistance, guidance, or support to greatness. Those who put their hopes in mortals to progress or promote them to their destiny are doomed to fail. In Jeremiah 17:5-7, the word of God tells us that such people will be like a bush in a wasteland. Prosperity will come, yet they will not see it or taste of it. On the other hand, the good book tells us that blessed is the man whose trust is in the Lord, whose confidence is in him alone. All things shall work together for his good, and he shall have a safe refuge and help in the Lord. In episode 4, we looked at the first key to handling betrayals the right way, and that is to see it through the eyes of Joseph. We learned that Joseph chose to see the betrayal he suffered as an instrument in the hand of God that forged his destiny into greatness. Today, we will continue our discussion on the theme Betrayal, an opportunity to learn to depend on or trust in God alone. And our text will be taken from Psalm 88, verse 18. And I read, "You have taken my companions and loved ones from me. The darkness is my closest friend." In this text, the psalmist describes how sometimes we all feel when we are stripped off from our friends or loved ones. Betrayals can be times when we are stripped off our dependence and confidence in man, so that we can learn to depend on and fully trust in God alone in our difficult times. It is easy for a believer to put his or her trust in mortal men, forgetting that the Lord has warned that cursed is a man who trusts in man, who depends on flesh for his strength, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. In those moments of our confusions and distress during our times of betrayal, God actively works to take away from our heart everything we trust in and love most above him, so that our faith in God is tested and deepened. In our heartaches, every human fraternity or companionship that is most treasured and loved by us above our relationship with God gives way, so that slowly we can discover God's love, learn to trust him in our sufferings, and grow in our relationship with him. The desire to hear words of hope, encouragement, or affirmation from God to make sense of everything that is happening to us during our dark times of betrayal can be tormenting, especially so when we have no other person to help us cope with the situation. That is when the desire to draw near to God, who is our only hope, is naturally stimulated in us as believers. When we are stripped of our companions, in whom we have kept faith through betrayal, we suddenly realize how frail our faith in human is. We are compelled to look up to God alone when we feel helpless, because our acquaintances and loved ones have all turned their backs on us. I get emotional when I read the story of Joseph. When I think of the heartache he possibly may have suffered, I feel a lot of empathy for him. If you have ever been pushed into darkness by people you love so dearly, then you can appreciate the pain Joseph might have felt in his heart when he was betrayed by his brothers. The unspoken words of pain that fills the heart during betrayals can be very difficult to bear. It is sad that sometimes the heaviest sorrows we can carry or we carry in life are placed on us by the people we love most. We are likely to wonder where God is in such bitter betrayals. When Joseph's brothers threw him into the pit, God seemed strangely silent. There was no thunderous voice from heaven to command his release. Neither was any angelic visitation or divine intervention to defend him. There were no inspiring words to comfort him. Neither was there a heavenly petition by loved ones that would make the situation hopeful. God was the only hope left for Joseph to look up to, and he had to learn to keep trusting and depending on him even when he was not hearing God's voice. Like many of us, I am sure that he was wondering where God was in that situation. During one of the darkest seasons of his life, the only people who showed up for Joseph were a band of slave traders. God didn't speak to Joseph. Instead, he had strangers show up for him. God was with Joseph in all his dark times, and he showed him favor through his journey. Divine favor was always made available to prosper Joseph in a way that did not require God to say a word to him. Yet, God was with him in action. In fact, many of the breakthroughs in Joseph's journey came through the hands of those who betrayed him. God used people who betrayed him at every turn to advance his cause towards greatness. God demonstrated to Joseph in many ways that were not so obvious that he sees him, hears him, or even loves him. Though it seems that God was completely absent and silent in his life, he was actively working for Joseph's prosperity. Though men forsook and betrayed him, God never did, because he had a grand purpose for his life. Joseph was taken to a distant country, very far from all his friends and relations. In a foreign land where he did not have anyone to offer him comfort, or to minister to him, or to mediate for him. However, the Lord was with Joseph, and he showed him mercy and prospered him into greatness through the betrayals he suffered. Though there was none available to help him, God was an immediate help for him. Joseph learned to depend on God alone in a situation where he was deprived of any human intervention. Dear listener, your moment of betrayal can be an opportunity for you to draw nearer to God, so that you can truly see his hand in action for your good. Have you been betrayed by a friend, your husband, your wife, or your siblings, or maybe your colleagues in whom you trusted so much? Perhaps it is time to recognize the one who truly deserves your trust or hope. Use that moment to draw near to God and make him the pivot of your life, and he will surely see you through and turn even your betrayals for your good. May God bless you and send you help always. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and share these messages to help someone else. You may also get copies of my books on Amazon, and you will be blessed when you read them. Stay blessed and See you soon in the next episode.